On the final day of the Patissier World Tournament, the attention of the crowd was fixed on a particular contestant. This contestant was a man who harbored a dream of creating the most exquisite dessert in the world. He had dedicated years of his life honing his skills, preparing to compete in the grandest culinary competition. Guiding his team, he meticulously crafted a magnificent phoenix sculpted entirely from sugar. It seemed as though victory was within his grasp, and spectators already believed he would be crowned the champion. However, tragedy strikes as the giant phoenix topples over, crushing our hero and tragically ending his life. With his dreams of creating the world's finest pastry unfulfilled, he laments his fate. But in a moment of divine intervention, the voice of God speaks to him, offering him a second chance to share his extraordinary talents. Reborn in the sovereign territory of Molten as pastry mill Molten, our hero finds himself in a land that was once desolate but has flourished under the leadership of his father, Casserole Mill Molten, the Viscount of the Molten territory. Together, they have tirelessly worked for over 2 decades, transforming the barren fields into fertile soil capable of yielding bountiful crops. Now, the territory of Molten consists of 3 villages, each with a population of approximately 40 people. At the age of 9, Pastry is learning the art of sword fighting from his father, who pushes him to become a formidable warrior. However, Pastry's true passion lies in the creation of delectable sweets, a calling he carried from his previous life. Yet, there's a hurdle in Pastry's path. The territory of Molten lacks the ability to grow sugar, which poses a challenge for his confectionery ambitions. As he contemplates this issue, one of his subordinates, Sheets, brings him a report. The good news is that they are expecting a bountiful harvest of beans this year, thanks to Pastry's suggestion of using sparkling lime on the field, which enhanced the crop yield despite the famine plaguing the rest of the kingdom. Sheets also delivers the bad news. Neighboring regions have recently battled a group of bandits but failed to eradicate them entirely. Now, these remnants of bandits are headed towards Molten, a force of 50 strong. If they infiltrate Molten, they will plunder the precious crops and destroy the hard-earned fields. With only 30 adult men in all 3 villages combined, Pastry realizes the odds are against them. Casserole considers seeking aid from Count Rates, the nearby ruler, but Sheets cautions against it, citing the potential political consequences. If the villagers defeat the bandits that the Count couldn't, it could undermine his authority and lead to tensions between them. Sheets suspects that the Count may even prefer the bandits to ravage Molten, allowing him to swoop in afterward and claim what remains. Concerned about the threat to his dream of building a kingdom of sweets, Pastry becomes resolute in his determination to stop the bandits, no matter the cost. Impressed by his unwavering commitment, Sheets devises a plan that involves making Pastry their secret weapon. He suggests subjecting Pastry to the sanctification ceremony, a ritual that may bestow him with magical powers or other extraordinary abilities. That night, Casserole shares his decision with his wife and Pastry's mother, Agnes, expressing the gravity of the situation and the plan to make their son the key to their defense against the bandits. Agnes initially hesitates when considering the sanctification ceremony for Pastry, feeling he might be too young for such a significant event. However, Casserole assures her that Pastry's skills surpass those of other children his age, affirming his readiness. Agnes doesn't press the matter further and instead prepares to dress Pastry in the most adorable outfit she can find, even if it's traditionally meant for girls. After all, uniqueness is key. Pastry's older sister, Josephine, shares in the excitement of dressing up Pastry, as if they have their very own living and breathing doll. On the day of his departure, Pastry feels a bit exhausted from all the fussing and styling his mother and sister have done. Agnes approaches him, encouraging him to give his best, while his best friends, Mark and Lumi, are there to bid him farewell. Mark expresses a desire to dress up in fancy attire as well, but Lumi playfully dismisses the idea, claiming it wouldn't suit him. This lighthearted banter between friends momentarily takes their minds off the impending departure. Casserole instructs Sheets to take care of matters in his absence, and then utilizes teleportation magic to transport Pastry to the royal capital, an awe-inspiring display of power that astonishes Mark and Lumi. Agnes and Josephine, still clinging to the idea of Pastry wearing a dress, find themselves in playful disagreement. Upon their arrival in the capital city, Pastry's attention is immediately captivated by the array of food, particularly the sweet treats. It becomes evident that Molten lacks the necessary ingredients to create such delectable delights. Witnessing his enthusiasm, Casserole offers to buy him something special after the ceremony. Pastry finds it challenging to decide which treat to choose, as he wants to sample them all. However, his gaze fixates on the apples, sparking a sense of wonder and inspiration within him. Determined, he resolves to acquire them after the ceremony, and even suggests to his father the idea of planting apple trees. Casserole recognizes Pastry's motivation as a desire to establish a strong and prosperous territory, which fills him with joy. Meanwhile, Pastry's primary focus remains on his vision of building a candy kingdom, a land brimming with sugary delights. Together, they proceed to the church, where a renowned priest known amongst the nobles awaits. Casserole has consulted this priest previously for his daughter's sanctification ceremonies, and now it is Pastry's turn. The priest is taken aback upon learning that Pastry will undergo the sanctification ceremony at such a tender age. Meanwhile, Josephine and Sheets engage in a conversation about the significance of the ceremony and how it bestows magical abilities. Josephine shares her own experience, revealing that she was deemed to possess low magical power, leading her to forego certain aspects of the ceremony. She hopes that Pastry will exhibit a stronger magical potential. Meanwhile, Pastry finds himself bound and blindfolded, given only occasional sips of bitter water. The priest explains that magic is a hidden power residing deep within individuals, and enduring such hardships is the means to unlock it. 1.5 days pass, and Casserole grows increasingly concerned about the duration. However, the priest reassures him that more time equates to greater magical potential. Despite the reassurance, Casserole remains worried. In the midst of his confinement, Pastry's mind teems with excitement as he envisions the myriad of creations he can craft using the apples. Pies, tarts, caramelized apples, the possibilities are endless. Suddenly, a peculiar golden light envelops him from all directions, penetrating his being. Shortly afterward, Pastry awakens from the darkness, stirred by his father. Casserole congratulates him on successfully completing the ceremony, signaling the final stage, the priest's recitation from the sacred scripture, serving as both a blessing and an indicator of Pastry's magical attainment. The priest delves into lengthy passages from the scripture, and during this recitation, Pastry experiences a vision of his past life as a renowned pastry chef, as well as insights into his current reincarnated existence. Understanding dawns upon him regarding the scope of his abilities granted by this unique rebirth. Magic begins to surge within him, simultaneously manifesting through the radiant lights descending upon him. With that, the sanctification ceremony draws to a close. Both Casserole and the priest stand astounded by the magnitude of magic that has imbued Pastry. The priest remarks that Pastry has acquired more power than an average individual would possess. Casserole expresses his gratitude to the priest, compensating him for his services, and they part ways. The priest, though receiving only silver coins, expected as much from a minor lord who had gained his territory through battles. He muses that the payment is insufficient to ensure his silence. Now at the market, Casserole and Pastry peruse the offerings. Pastry takes an ample amount of time deciding between two apples. One appears heavier, while the other boasts a more vibrant hue. His perfectionism when it comes to food renders the choice difficult. Eventually, he purchases his preferred selection, and the shopkeeper even grants him additional apples due to his genuine enthusiasm. Finally, Pastry relishes the taste of apples, the fruit he had been unable to enjoy since his reincarnation. It is a truly marvelous experience, one that Casserole also savors. Pastry suggests to his father that they keep the fact that they indulged in the best pieces of the apples a secret from the others. They continue savoring their fruit, with Pastry eagerly mapping out plans for apple pies, apple tarts, and apple candies, all building towards his dream of establishing his own kingdom of sweets. On the contrary, the priest examines the coins and deems them insufficient to secure his silence. He threatens to expose Casserole's purpose for visiting the church. Meanwhile, a group of bandits wreak havoc upon a nearby village, setting it ablaze and looting its valuables. They revel in their ill-gotten gains amidst the flames, seemingly content with their actions. 3 weeks elapse, and the villagers diligently prepare for the impending assault by erecting barricades. News of the bandits' attacks reaches their ears, but Casserole and his son have already returned from the capital. It appears that the bandits are moving faster than anticipated, indicating their arrival well before the projected 2-month deadline. A landlord instructs his son to deliver a message summoning the leaders from each village under his jurisdiction for a meeting. He also requests the presence of his other 2 retainers, Cointreau and Lesage. Following the meeting, the smaller settlements evacuate their homes and converge upon the larger village, streamlining their defense efforts by concentrating their forces in one location. This strategic move also serves as a bait, enticing the bandits into a trap with their abundant food supplies, which can sustain the residents for up to 7 days if rationed carefully. Pastry oversees the preparations and realizes they are still vastly outnumbered. This disparity will become even more apparent if the battle prolongs. His self-proclaimed lieutenants, Marcarello and Luminito, join him. It is revealed that they are the children of Casserole's retainers, and they anticipate inheriting their parents' positions and supporting Pastry when he assumes the role of landlord. After discussing their plan, Pastry instructs them to gather rocks, as he has a strategy in mind. They carry out his command until dusk, when they spot the bandits approaching in the distance. Hastening back to warn everyone, they take their positions. Casserole delivers an inspiring speech to boost morale, and as they get into formation, the landlord and the head retainer embark on an aggressive reconnaissance mission. Pastry is entrusted with leadership in his father's absence. Casserole informs his son that they will strike the bandits fiercely and then retreat, luring them through the northern entrance. Just as his father turns away, Pastry orders Marcarello to inform Cointreau at the western canal that they will employ flame arrows as a signal for the enemy's arrival. Luminito is tasked with notifying Lesage to prepare these fiery projectiles. The arrows are to be unleashed at the faintest sound of hoofbeats. After the landlord departs, Pastry plans to utilize the children's proficiency in launching rocks with catapults to their advantage. They form a unit and await orders, but if danger draws too near, their escape to safety is paramount. Pastry's sister consoles some distressed girls amidst the chaos. Meanwhile, Casserole and his trusted companion approach the bandits, using magic to gain a clear view of their positions before launching their surprise attack. Chaos ensues, and they swiftly withdraw after inflicting damage. The bandit leader attempts to order his men to stand down, but their heated fervor compels them to pursue their assailants. Glossage, upon hearing the hoofbeats, signals for the volley of arrows to be released, aiding Casserole and his companion in finding their bearings and leading the bandits into the trap. A hail of arrows and rocks rains upon the bandits, further disorienting them. This tactic proves effective until the bandit leader scales the village wall and initiates an assault. This disruption in the volley grants his men an opportunity to climb after him. The children valiantly hold their ground, continuously hurling rocks at the leader. In a moment of desperation, the leader targets the children, but Pastry intervenes and takes the blow. However, he unleashes his magic for the first time by projecting the pain and damage inflicted upon one bandit to all those standing in the compound. The bandits collapse in agony, creating an opening for Mark Orlo to knock out the bandit leader with a well-aimed rock as Pastry watches with a mix of relief and awe. This brings an end to our episode. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel, Any Explainer.